I never find the moments awkward because I'm just like, I'm doing my job. I'm asking them questions. It's their job to answer them. And if they don't want to answer them, why are they on reality TV?
This person was doing coke at BravoCon, and what about this person and standing up for Meredith? And it's like, wow, okay, she's definitely angling to come back as like a friend. I feel like ever since that moment, and because it became so iconic and so big, that Heather from Salt Lake City is now like trying to orchestrate the show.
That's the level of drama I'm interested in. I do think with the Jen Shah of it all, there's been this expectation that like we need arrests and police and, you know, life-ruining drama. And it's like, no, I'm okay with someone's alleged farting affair.
Welcome to the show, somebody who has left me gagged and sitting there with my jaw on the floor in many of a reality show interview. Brice Sander, the Chief Real Housewives correspondent. How the heck, Brice, do you even get that title? That is such an iconic job description.
It's a title I gave myself. It is not my real job title. But I think it sums up what I do.
It really, really does, because every single time that I want to see like a scandalous interview from a reality show or the Bravoverse, I always come and find yours, because I don't know what it is, but as soon as your camera goes on, as soon as you're sitting there, you have no fear and they just start fighting in front of you. What is like the most awkward moment you've had in front of a reality show cast during an interview?
I never find the moments awkward because I'm just like, I'm doing my job. I'm asking them questions. It's their job to answer them. And if they don't want to answer them, why are they on reality TV? Something may come to me, but nothing is like jumping out right away of like, oh, that was really uncomfortable.
Oh, man. Because I remember there was one with Brittany and Jax from Vanderpump Rules, and you're like having to sit there, and I was honestly like that popcorn eating gift, just like, wow, this is absolutely incredible. But who is...
Yeah, that was probably when they were opening the bar.
Yes.
And they were fighting about the bar in front of me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But then you also get all of the big interviews after there's been these huge scandals on reality shows. Is it hard? Because like as a fan, when you watch the show, I do find myself picking a side, and then you would have to interview both sides. Do you find it hard to go into those interviews without being team somebody else?
The place I live is always like, I want to find the truth. It's like, there's your story. The truth is somewhere in between. So I'm fearless on asking questions. Like I sat down with John Jansen at the end of the OC season. That was the Alexis comeback. And we dug into everything. And I don't really think that interview did him any favors, but my kind of guiding light is, do I have 3 questions to ask this person? That's enough for me to dive into an interview. I was like, there's at least 3 questions to ask John Jansen.
Do you have like Real Housewives and friends of just sliding into your DMs all the time, wanting to have their side of the story told?
But I think I'm like in a weird protected place of, I work for technically like an old school brand that has a lot of security barriers in place. And I work directly with like Bravo and the network to set most of it up. So, I mean, every once in a while someone will be like, I want to talk to you, or I want to get my side out, but it's not as many as you would think.
Oh my.
They tend to go through the proper channels.
Because it's interesting, like I sit there and I watch all of these shows go down, and you know, if we start off with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which I feel like is the elite brand at the moment, and I watch it and I think to myself, I really want to see Jen Shah come back to that show now that she's out of prison. But Andy Cohen is like 10 toes down, like absolutely not. It will never, ever happen. And I'd also like to see Monica back in the mix as well. How do you feel as like a fan of the shows? Would you like to see that messiness, or do you think that the show's kind of moved on?
I think the show's moved on from Jen Shah, and I think she is such a big personality and force that she kind of sucks all the air and the attention. And I don't know that adding her back into the mix as a cast member would be good for the health of that show. I'm interested to hear her after prison, if she owns up to why she did it and all of that. And so I hope she gets somewhere to tell that story. And if it were like a coffee date scene with Meredith, I'd be happy for like a cameo. I would be more interested in Monica coming back full time because I still do not understand why they all fear Monica 10 times more than they fear Jen Shah.
Oh, because she's got way more tea on them. Like, she's basically running her own reality show on Instagram right now with all of her things. This person was doing coke at BravoCon, and what about this person, and standing up for Meredith. And it's like, wow, okay, she's definitely angling to come back as like a friend. But since you've mentioned Meredith, we have to talk about it. What do you think happened on the plane? Do you think all of that stuff happened? Because I find it so hard to believe that production would be on the plane as well, and nobody in production put their phone up and was like, we need to get this. Andy will want this.
It has to be that it felt big to the women, but not big enough to the producers or anybody else on the plane in that moment to be like, oh my gosh, something's going down. Because it's not like they were on a private jet. There were other passengers, some of whom had to know who these people were, who would be interested in that. So I think something happened, but I think it's, Housewives is like a microcosm, and so they can glom onto something that in big picture doesn't feel that dramatic. And yeah, I'm sure Meredith was saying uncomfortable things about Brittany within earshot of Brittany. But I think Meredith's point of view is my intention was not to hurt Brittany. I was venting to a friend, and it's not my fault if she overheard me.
Yeah, and because I feel like Lisa and Meredith have definitely had like a off-camera conversation where we're like, ride or die, we will not betray each other so that we all have somebody through the whole thing. And it kind of reminds me of like back in the day of, Lisa Vanderpump and Kyle Richards when they had that best friend kind of thing going on. Like, it still makes me so sad that they're not friends. But do you think that Lisa and Meredith are actually friends, or do you think it's just a friend of convenience on the show?
I think they are actually friends, but I do think they also now have an alliance on the show, given what they went through the first 4 years and coming back from the hot mic moment and all that. I think the same thing could be said of Heather has the same relationship with Whitney. And so it's like they can't be mad at the two of them for always riding for each other when Heather and Whitney always ride for each other.
Exactly. Because my thing is, like, ever since we had Heather's moment of like the receipts, screenshots, timeline, everything, like, I feel like ever since that moment, and because it became so iconic and so big, that Heather from Salt Lake City is now like trying to orchestrate the show. And like sometimes I feel like she's trying to get her second kind of catchphrase. Do you feel like she's kind of puppeteering a little bit?
No, but I don't know if the blame lays with her or within how the show is produced.
True.
Because to me, it's very obvious that last season's finale, when when she goes, let's all take out our phones and read the meanest thing we've ever written about somebody. That's not an idea that Heather came up with. That's an idea that I think she was pressed to do, if I had to make the guess. I do think maybe it's not even individual to Heather, but after receipts, timeline, screenshots, I do think they all feel a pressure to end every season on some sort of explosive note when it doesn't need to be. I would love to get back to a Housewives production schedule where they end with a finale party that's not in the middle of a trip or at the end of a trip, where people can actually have conversations that feel like we're going to wrap some stuff up versus drop a bomb and hope for the best.
Oh my God. This latest series of Salt Lake City, I just think it's possibly one of the funniest moments I've ever seen in a franchise. Like, the funniest rumor ever was like, my friend was hooking up with Todd and he farted and he kept farting. That was just like the funny. Like, when I watched it, I was like, no, that did not just happen. That is the worst rumor to have out into the world about you.
That's the level of drama I'm interested in. I do think with the Jen Shah of it all, there's been this expectation that like we need arrests and police and, life-ruining drama. And it's like, no, I'm okay with someone's alleged farting affair.
Yeah, me too. That's so good. Because also just like love the fashion and all of that sort of stuff. But then like I find Mary Cosby so funny, but then now seeing this documentary coming out about her running a cult and all that sort of stuff, I find it very interesting that Bravo are kind of like standing by her with that. What is your vibe like? Because I imagine, have you seen both? Like, do you think that she's running a cult, or do you think it's people kind of making a storm out of a teacup?
I think it's the latter for the most part. I have not watched the documentary. Everything I've seen about it seems very mixed. Of some people are taking away feeling like it's a smoking gun that exposes everything, and others seem like this is just rehashing what we already saw on Housewives. I've asked Mary pretty much every time I've interviewed her, is it a cult? Are you a cult leader? She is very firm in no. I do think, her explanation is always, this is a black church in very white Utah. It's a Pentecostal church in a very Mormon place. It's not what people are used to in the area. And I think there's always questions around organized religion and if it falls into the cult category, and that goes beyond just Mary's church. But yeah, I think she's very beloved by fans, and I think we've learned that she's a very honest person. She can't really keep a secret. She can't really have a poker face. So I don't know how she would keep up the front of a cult.
Oh,
knowing everything else we know about her.
100%. That's kind of how I feel about it too. But to move on from Salt Lake City to go to Beverly Hills for a second, do you feel like, because Beverly Hills used to be my favorite franchise, but I just feel like it's got, I don't know, like more and more, I hate like that. I feel like they're the most obvious at hazing new cast members when like new cast are added, unless they think that you're cool. So when Denise Richards first came in and with Rachel Zoe coming in, it's like, oh no, she's cool. We're not going to haze her, but Amanda, we're going to haze you. Do you feel like Beverly Hills needs Lisa Vanderpump back? Because I adored her on Housewives.
I don't think she will ever come back. I've asked her a million times, and it's always like, I don't even want to be in the same room with any of those women. I do think she was very good when she was on the show until the last season, when she just could not handle the Lucy of it all. And that was also when, her brother and her mother died in quick succession. She has said multiple times, I should have taken the season off. I honestly think, now watching The Traitors, they need Lisa Rinna back, because I think she can play the same kind of stir the pot role that Vanderpump would play, but she's a little more upfront about how she handles it. And I think now with time, she has more perspective on when it's time to lean into somebody and when it's time to pull back.
Oh yeah, she's like one of those people, she knows exactly how to play a reality show, and it's the best. I 100% agree with you on that. What do you think about the rumors of Kyle and Mauricio getting back together? Because I feel like the world is broken if Kyle and Mauricio can't be married, and I feel like we need to, for true love to be real, I need them to get back together. So what do you think about these rumors?
I would love to see them back together. There's obviously some strings still there, because Kyle, when I spoke to her at the start of this season of Beverly Hills, said, he's my life partner. They are just separated. No one's filed for divorce. They did spend the holidays together. So I'm interested to see if they can find their way back. But who knows?
Oh man, I hope that they do. Now, I have to ask you about the behind the scenes of your job. Like, you in the room interviewing every amazing reality star ever. Who is the person that you're always like, this is going to be great? And who is the person that you're like, oh God, I can't handle this. Like, this is just going to be the worst 10 minutes of my life?
I never have the second experience, because if I felt that strongly about somebody, I probably would not commit to an interview with them.
Yeah.
So Tamra Judge was my first housewife interview, and she has remained, like, of every season I am excited to talk to her about OC, because she really just says it and doesn't hold back. And I think she gets such a bad rap from the audience, because Housewives did not really exist until Tamra came on to OC and turned it into Housewives. She is the architect of the modern Real Housewife, and love her or hate her, she paved the road for everyone else to walk on.
150%. You are so right. I hate how much shit Tamra gets, because she's like Lisa Rinna in the sense of she's in there, she knows what job needs to be done, and she's not afraid to stir the pot, and I love that. It's entertaining.
She's an essential worker. Like, she comes in and she knows we can't just all be getting along. Yeah. I got to bring up something that's going to get under your skin so we can talk about it and have some drama for the season.
Yes, definitely. And I want to see her and Vicky and Shannon like out whooping it up. Like, that's just like the best. That's the sort of Housewives I love watching. It's so good.
I am fascinated to see what the three of them back on camera together looks like, because both Shannon and Tamra seem to have a very strong line in the sand that they are not crossing over to each other ever again. Can
Yeah.
Vicky bring them together?
I definitely think that she can. I have strong faith. Because also, while we're on OC, like Heather Dubrow, who I think she's so fabulous because she just like leans into it. But there's rumors that she's going to join Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Do you reckon there's weight to that, or do you reckon that's just gossip?
I think that's gossip, and I think Heather likes to play with people, so like she dropped on Instagram diamond emojis for the new year. As far as I know, our OC cast is everyone we had last year minus Katie plus Vicky for the season 20. That's what I am hearing.
God, I would love to have Heather on there. It would be so, so good. Now, to delve into some other reality shows, have you watched Members Only Palm Beach yet?
Begrudgingly, yes. I did watch it.
I watched the show and I was like, are we being pranked? Is this a satire? And it's like a parody of one of these shows. Like you saw Gail coming in and it's just, I just cannot believe a world like that actually exists. Is that real life? Like what is that show?
I think that show's very manufactured, and it seems like they were making it up as they went. Like Gail should have been, given how much she was involved in the show, like the main cast member, and she's kind of a friend of on that show, but she's the only person that they all have any beef with. They all have any back and forth with, and all the viral moments are Gail falling off the chaise lounge with her wig rolling back, you know.
She was honestly comedy. I was like watching that show and I was like, what is happening? But you're so right. And I think they realized that 3/4 of the way through the season because she finally gets a confessional in like the last.
Like in
and
the finale.
Yeah, like that's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, where has Gail's confessions been this whole time? Like it was so bananas.
And they had Sue Bell, who is a known individual from Palm Beach because she has a whole social media presence, and they underutilized her, and she seems like she would have been fun comic relief. It seems like they pitched the show as the real life Palm Royale, that Kristen Wiig show on Apple TV, because they talk about the Rolodex and all that, and that's the lore of that show, which I don't think is real. I think it's fully made up for the world of Palm Royale. So for them to invent it as if it exists in Palm Beach, I don't know.
Oh, God, it brought me so much joy. And when it comes to like reality shows, for people because I always have people that ask me that I wanted to get into Housewives or whatever, I always say watch Vanderpump Rules from season 1 because it's like my favorite reality show ever. But if you have to choose a franchise for like Real Housewives, I used to always say Beverly Hills, but now I probably more say Salt Lake City. What would you say if someone was like going to go in and really commit to a Real Housewives franchise? What's the first and best one in your opinion?
I think OG Roni, Real Housewives of New York City, is nothing beat it. It's like the funniest show ever made. I just did a rewatch of a bunch of the seasons, and I was like, wow, we did not know what we had.
We really didn't. We really didn't. I just like so badly, like when I just want Jill and Jill to come back, and I was going to say Bronwyn. I was like, that is not the right person.
Jill is in the universe of Members Only. She is best friends with Hillary.
I saw her
I feel like season 2 of Members Only Palm Beach, should they renew it, we could get a Jill Zarin there, and she lives in Florida now, so I think it makes more sense for her to be in that universe.
That would be amazing. But it was just so good in that time. You can't cast people like Ramona and all that, and they were actually kind of the brand of that, showing that luxury and all of that stuff. Whereas I feel like the newer ones are like, we're working hard for our money, which is cool. But also I just really liked seeing these, which I think was
it's a different show.
Yeah, totally.
I miss if you watch the old, like early seasons of Real Housewives of New York City, so much of it was filmed at events that had nothing to do with the show. They were going to magazine parties, fashion shows, random pop-ups and filming there. And it felt very organic, like we are in their universe, versus now Housewives is a little formulaic with, it's like so-and-so throwing an event this week and we're all going, and we're not actually, and there are events that only exist within the confines of the show. They only exist because of the show.
Yeah.
So I'd like to regress a little bit to get back to the world where they're going to events that are out in the world.
Oh, me
and
too.
fighting there.
Yeah, instead of it just being like, I've clearly got a call sheet and I have to go to Luann's cabaret night or something. Although I do love seeing her cabaret nights. When you come into these interviews, so thinking of like Vanderpump Rules, when we were having like the Scandoval scandal where Tom Sandoval had cheated on Ariana with Raquel, and it blew up the entire show. It was fantastic reality TV though. And I was like wondering for you, like when you now have to say interview Tom Schwartz or Tom Sandoval or whatever, is he actually that much of a dick? Because he seems so lovely, but also just like a little bit of like a dumb Labrador.
You're spot on the money. It's like he's perfectly nice. I've never had a bad interaction with him, but he's all about Tom. So it's like that is his worldview, is himself. It's not awkward to interview them. They know they did the thing, so they got to talk about the thing.
Oh God, it's so crazy, honestly. And because I loved like the OG Vanderpump so much, I'm really trying to get into the second series, but it's the new series of the like new lineup and stuff. It's quite hard. Do you think they're going to get a season 2 out of it? Because I don't know.
I feel like the network will give it another season because they don't want to be like, we tried it and it didn't work. Like they're going to want to course correct its valuable IP. I don't know if I've watched ahead or not in the screeners, but they went away on like their cast trip and the show finally felt like it was in a groove, but it took until episode 7 or whatever to get there. And I think they only have like 10 episodes. So that's tough that it was like you had to watch so much to feel like you were finally watching. I'm sure it'll come back. I think they need to do a little cast
reshuffle
maneuvering. Yeah, I don't know that this ensemble is perfect, but I think like we're seeing with the Real Housewives of New York City, the network's not going to give up on something that they want to work.
Oh, me too. Oh my gosh. I just hope that it comes across so well. And there are a bunch of like new shows coming out in like the Bravoverse and also in like reality TV. I just finished, oh God, what is it? The Manhattan one with Ryan Serhant on Netflix.
Oh, Selling Manhattan.
Selling Manhattan. I just finished that. I really like that show because I love Selling Sunset, but I really enjoyed that show because I feel like this season you could actually see him kind of breaking his nice guy cover, and you could see he could be a bit of a shark if he wants to. What is your favorite reality show of all time? Because there's so many to choose from.
Oh my gosh, I mean, not to sound like a broken record, it is probably Real Housewives of New York City. Like that is one that I can always put on and rewatch. Original Vanderpump Rules, same thing. I mean, any Housewives is like
easy
comfort television. You can just put it on. You're like, oh, I'm with my friends.
It actually is like that. You're so right. It was really weird. So I was a couple of weeks ago. So Aisha Scott, who's on Below Deck, she's obviously from New Zealand. And so I text her and I was like, babe, can I call you while you're at BravoCon? And she FaceTimed me and then passed me around the green room. And like, I've interviewed a lot of people in my life, but when she handed that show to Brock and Sheeta from Vanderpump Rules, I literally started screaming and fell on the floor because I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, you're like I feel like I'm part of your life because I've watched all of it. Like, it was so embarrassing, but so cool. So your job is like the dream job. Like, I think must be so much fun. So thank you so much for making time for us because holy shit, you are interviewing back to back.
Yeah, I got one this afternoon, 2 tomorrow, and 1 Thursday.
Oh,
so a lot of Bravo content coming out in the next week or so.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. Well, I'm going to put all of your details into our show notes so people can come and follow you on socials and get all of the tea, because if you love reality TV, you need to be following Brice. But thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.